Chris Hansen here from Karate Unity. Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody in the world. Thank you for tuning in on this live broadcast. And thank you for those who couldn't make it and is watching the replay, which I'll post up, which will be posted up later on. So thank you so much for joining. If you could kindly just do a quick chat and tell me if you can hear me and see me okay. I haven't done a live stream off my channel in a while, so I just want to make sure everything is going good here. Do a quick sound check. And those of you who know how to reach me through private messaging, if you could just send me a quick message and let me know. Okay, good. Can you hear you? Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. So, welcome. Welcome to our channel at Karate Unity. Our content focuses on cross training in other arts and combat sports to make your base art better. And in my case, it's karate. We are a teaching, training, and learning collective based here in Toronto, Canada. We consist of traditional martial artists, combat sport players, and tactical combative instructors. If you want to find out more about us, please like and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. This year is going to be an exciting year. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this show, I just want to update you on some of the Karate Unity updates. It's turning out to be an exciting year. For those of you who don't know, I'm my main job is a school teacher throughout the day. And my ultra part-time gig / passion is martial arts. I teach privately here out of my gym. I teach locally seminars and lately international. So my time is very restricted, but this year is turning out to be a great year because let me let you in on some of the scoops. So if you haven't heard about this man, his name is Matt Briers from Tritac Martial Arts. He has an amazing channel, almost 70,000 subscribers, a beast of a coach. He runs an MMA club, okay, but he's cross-trained in traditional martial arts, combat sports, and tactical combatives too. It takes one to know one. I mean, I fell in love with this stuff years ago. We reached out. We reached out to each other, and so I'll be going down to Connecticut at his gym. He's got a beautiful gym. I don't know how much square footage it is, but it's a massive hall. He produces great videos, great coaching style, and we kind of fell across each other's work, and we're going to be doing some collabs. So I'm going to go down there. I'm going to be doing some filming and some training. So stay tuned on my socials for updates, and I can't wait to share all that with you. Secondly, shout out to Michael Salona from Revolution Martial Arts Academy. Michael Salona is based out of Philadelphia. I'll be going down there in April over a long weekend there, and we're going to be doing a joint seminar, practical karate and cross training. So stay tuned to our socials for that. I've been putting out some promos on that. So if you're in the area, reach out to Michael Salona, and if you want to fly down there or however you want to get there, we'd love to have you, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a couple of days of training. Then we've got Michigan right after that. Sensei Greg Robillard's group. I can't wait. I believe it's going to be in Muskegon. That'll be in May. Again, it's going to be a weekend thing, and it's going to be a seminar there, a Karate Unity seminar, where we're going to be working on some bunkai and attribute drills and how cross training can, enhance your base art, whatever that is, right? And then in July, I can't wait for that. It's a personal trip. I'm going to be, I shout out to Karate Noise, Onsoi Dojo, Christian Vedevart, and all those guys. Christian, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have my German connection. So I'm very grateful. I'm going to see my brother, Sensei Martin Kuzia. We both graded last year under the Ian Abernathy umbrella, and that was quite a nice way for everybody to get together. So I'm going to be doing a joint multi-style seminar. It's a summer camp that we're going to be running it in July. So stay tuned for that. Promo is going to be coming out soon. I'm a one-man show here, guys. So I don't have anybody doing my stuff for me. So I I have to like pace myself. So once these seminars start to kick off, I'll start to work on it. But yeah, and then finally in August. Christian Vedevart and myself, along with Bobby Nelson. Shout out to Bobby. How you doing, brother? I think I see you on there. We're going to be doing a joint seminar at sunny Los Angeles. I can't wait. I'm actually bringing my family on this one because it's it's a beautiful place, and I've never been. And I think I gotta. I think I got to do these things in order to keep myself sane. But anyway, we're gonna have a great, fun family time, and looking forward to seeing Christian again. And I can't wait for that opportunity. Yeah, man, Bobby Nelson. But yeah, so that's about it. And anything locally that pops up, I'll keep you guys posted and let you know where to find me and where to train with me and things like that. I plan to do some more collaborations with some local gyms in here too. So stay tuned. It's going to be an exciting year. And I got all smiles simply because this is exactly what I planned to do years ago, and it's actually happening right now. I'm living what I want, and it hasn't been easy, but it's happening. And as you can see, all these things are starting to happen in fruition. And you know, um, I'm just having a good time, man. To me, it's the business side of it is just like a little minuscule thing. To me, it's about friendship, man. It's about building bridges and all of those things. And okay, now this is it, the moment you've been waiting for, and the moment I've been waiting for. So, since I started Karate Unity, I've been getting in touch with a ton of martial artists from all over the world, and they send me their materials, they send me their books. I have a whole bunch of books that I really want to talk about, but two of them are dear to me. So, my apologies. I'm gonna apologize in advance. Please don't get sad. Please don't get disappointed if I didn't mention your book. In fact, I think I've mentioned everybody who's given me books, gifted me books in the mail and things like that. I've mentioned every single book. I haven't done an extensive podcast like this. Actually, I think I have for John Titchen, but this one I'm doing it. You'll see why, because I use a lot of the stuff that's mentioned in the books. And secondly, I got honorable mention in a couple of pages on in this other book. And yeah, I'm all smiles about that. I want to talk about all that too. But yeah, so two books today. Okay, so we've got Naihanchi Tekki Kata by Chris Denwood. You guys could see that. And I've put links, guys, in the description in my YouTube. So this book here, okay, and Weaponize Your Web, Muchimi Karate's Forgotten Power Source, Weaponize Your Web by Filip Swennen and Axelander. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Filip, can you text me and let me know if I pronounced that right? I think, is it Philippe or Philip? Philip or Philippe? And I love. I'm a school teacher, so I every year I have like a whole roster of names, and I usually mess it up, but I get it after a couple of times. So anyway, let me know if okay, perfect. Thanks, man. This book here. So I got sticky notes on here just for the purpose of the talk, but I've already like mangled this book already. I've gone through it, gone through both of them. And so the bottom line is you gotta listen to what I have to say here because it's important stuff. All right, so here we go. All right, so first book. First of all, cheers. I got a new mug, so just want to show off this mug. It's not for sale; it's a gift, but maybe I should make it for sale. I haven't looked into that yet, but and I got some new shirts too. I'm going to be making them available at the seminars. So it's just it's a lot easier for me that way to take it all down and just sell them there. So yeah, you guys want to check it out? So check it out. I'm gonna pull out any wires here. So Karate Do It, Learn, Create, Liberate, and this is my favorite part of the shirt, the back. You guys ready for this? Boom! Right over here. Right. So I love this back. It's I love the idea behind it. So shout out to Don Huey who created all that for me. We did some collabs back and forth, sending digital files, and finally got it the way I like it. So yeah, this totally represents my mission. And cheers, guys. grab a coffee. I'm assuming in Europe it's dinner time, or you just finished dinner, or you're eating dinner or whatever. So grab a coffee, grab a drink, put some food in your mouth, and chill. Cheers, guys. Ugh, black coffee, love it. It's about one little after 1 p.m. here. So I had an early lunch, and I'm excited to talk to you guys. I also did some training this morning. I'm feeling pumped, fresh, and good. All right. So here we go. Naihanchi Tekki Kata, the seed of Shuri Karate, combative application, right? This is written by an author, Chris Denwood. If you don't know Chris, what's wrong with you? Get to know Chris. He's we did a joint collaborative seminar. Chris, I can't remember when did we do that. If you can type it in, I think a year ago, 2 years ago. But we had a great turnout. We filmed it remote, and so out of his dojo and my dojo here, and we had a really good turnout, guys. It was 2 hours, and I think we had like about 7 to 8 countries join in, including the UK and things like that. And so UK and US, and I think we had South America and whole bunch of. And Filip was on there too. And that's how we got to know each other. Through that, we got to know each other better. But anyway, so Chris Denwood, check him out. Um, let's see here. It's yeah, you can check him out at chrisdenwood.com. And he's got a virtual dojo as well. He's got a free promotional offer for his virtual dojo, and it's off of chrisdenwood.com. Yeah, I put the links, guys, in the description, so check it out. And he's also got a paid platform as well. I highly recommend his work. I've worked with the man, through the seminars, and we've done some collaborations online, and we plan to do another seminar together at some point, whether it's going to be here in Canada or in the UK. So highly recommend his work. So yeah, chrisdenwood.com, virtual dojo. Sign up. At least try the free stuff out, and it's great stuff. So here we go. We're going to talk about. I'm going to give you an overall review of the book, right? And basically, he gifted this to me, and so did Filip. Filip gifted me his books too. Authors, they send all their stuff to me, and I just overwhelmed with gratefulness. And part of the function of this channel is to unite people. I do cross collaborative promotions with really good people who just basically just want to spread the love of what their teachers have taught them and creatively express themselves. And I share that in common with all these guys that send me books and things. And here we are. So I want to give back. This is my way of giving back to all you guys. So thank you very much for the book, and let's talk about it. All right. So here's a walkthrough. So beautiful cover. It's a soft cover. I don't know if you can get it in hardcover. It's available on Amazon.com, and I think you can get it directly from his website as well. Again, I put in links in the description. Yeah, beautiful cover. This kind of, now that I've known Chris, right? Unfortunately, just through virtual means. I can't wait to meet the man, but I feel like I know the gist of who he is. This cover represents who he is, because he's a very traditional man. Very neat and articulate in the way he does his techniques and the way he presents himself. So this is elucidated here in this cover, right? So let's open it up. Let's take a look. So he gave me a little inscription over here, right? To Chris, thanks for connecting, and I hope you enjoy the read, right? So we'll just take a look at the table of contents here. So it's split up into sections, okay? So we've got the Bunkai Nidan and Bunkai Sandan. And he's got 10, 20, 21 chapters. And it's a great, great breakdown. So I'm going to give you some big, giant takeaways. Okay, you guys ready? All right. Giant takeaway number 1. All right. I love this idea. When I read this, like I don't know about you guys, but I have a nickname, and they call me the Energizer Bunny. Everywhere I go, I'm hopping around, and even though I've got like sometimes 2 or 3 hours of sleep, I've got so much energy in me, and I get passionate, especially when I see things that I connect to, right? So right over here, there's a chapter that he talks about. It's called Reactive Tactics. It's chapter 11. And he wrote over here, Karate Kata are just forms or templates of sort. It is the function of their application that needs to be mastered. And then of course, this was a name drop by Choki Motobo. And so anyway, if you page through and you get to page 140, it talks about reactive tactics. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a couple of pictures here. All right, and so you've got this, in depending on the type of Naihanchi that you do. Okay, there is this salutation, so to speak. Okay, this movement, and you see it a lot in traditional kata. This movement here, right? And you're bringing it down, and then you open up and all this kind of stuff. I love how Chris treated this and how he looked at this. And just to give you a little bit of a background on Chris Denwood, not Chris Hansen, Chris Denwood. Man, I'm digging this microphone, guys. I bought a whole bunch of new equipment here, and I am as loud as a baseball game here. So I'm just trying to modulate the volume here. So yeah, this movement here, okay, he breaks it down in a very engineering, mechanical kind of way, and that reflects who Chris Denwood is. Chris is he's got a strong engineering background, and he's just meticulous in the way he talks about things. So he uses here I'm going to give you a little excerpt. Right, it says over here the second reactionary tactic occurs during the second part of the opening salutation, where the elbows flex and the hands lift. If we take the formal aesthetics away from the movement and focus on the structure and core movement patterns, we can see valuable protection measures against ambush situations, which in contrast to the previous application, supports a function whereby the arms instinctively flinch in and up to cover vital areas around the head and neck to protect our main computer and control system against potential damage. Whew, that was a mouthful. I would tell my students in my class to shorten it up, but Chris, I love you, bro. Okay, so this movement here, okay? Here, down. Now, he talks about he says over here, we must search past the classical formalities and standardizations in kata in order to find potential. I love that part. I'm going to show you what he's done here and just quickly demonstrate, right? Slight adaptations help bring the principle-based lessons of the kata to life and offer a greater range of application. So these are all the things he's done with this. Okay, so let me show you the pictures so you guys get a little feel for it. So take a look, right? So here's the move. Here's one application. Here's another application. And here's another application, okay? And now he's done some more on this side, right? Where he uses it to crash in. Uses it to crash in, right? Check it out, okay? So I've basically used all of these things. I've stress tested all of them, some of which I discovered through his work, but most of which these things happen, through cross-training and just from natural reactions. So he talks about structure, taking this and attaching it to your head. He calls that a minor adaptation. I think that's subjective to your purpose. To me, it's a major one because you're securing a structure here, so it's important. But anyway, little semantical differences, no big deal. But he uses this to crash in, right? Now, if you take a look at a lot of tactical combative instruction, the whole genre of tactical combatives, they make themselves small, they get really tight, and they go right in. Right, that is one strategy of increasing your odds of success. Right, and it's just ambushing, just getting right in like that. Right, so that's one way he uses it. Another way he uses it too is he changes the planes, so he tilts down over here where he's protecting now his ribs, and that's basically, I believe, in this picture right where my finger is right there. Can you guys see that? This one right here, you see? It's kind of like a boxer's shell, right? Now, if you strip away the activity, you take away the word boxing, you take away all the style. And guys, I'm just going to do a little side note here. I can't stand the word style. Okay, I can't stand the word style. I mean, I'm in my dojo here, so I'm talking right beside this man, Bruce Lee. Okay, my wife got this for me for my 50th. It's a big cutout, um, and yeah, so I have it in my dojo. I think it's pretty cool. But I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, and he's all about no style, right? If you think about it, styles are important, but they're also not important because people get caught up in it. So just look at the principles. So here's the principle: crossing hands, okay, a structure, maintaining that structure with your head, or dropping that structure down. Keep the structure by your elbows are in, and flexing your core so you can take shocks, take punches. Right? Beautiful. Right now, boxers do that anyway. They don't know anything about Naihanchi, but you see, it's a principle. They're using the principle behind these things, right? Whether you want to call it Naihanchi or not. So anyway, that's one. Here's another one too, where he uses it like a spear. Okay, so uses it as a spear. So that's this picture right over here. Second one. You guys see that? Okay, and that's basically where, again, you take a look at practical applications. They do that kind of stuff. The defense labs. What's it? I used to study this a system called Crazy Monkey by Rodney King. Rodney King's Crazy Monkey. I believe he's a South African man who kind of fused tackle combatives and boxing and all these kind of things, and now he's really into jiu-jitsu. But yeah, he uses these kind of crush-ins, right, where they're securing their hand, boom, and they're coming right in, right, to spear through punches and guards, just so that you can get into that center mass and start working. Underhooks, overhooks, strikes, takedowns, affecting balance, all that beautiful stuff, right? So yeah, that's the first big takeaway, right? Where all of these ideas, okay, and I'm just elucidating this one, okay, are used as tools. Guys, I like to see these things as a Swiss Army knife. Yeah, you know what I mean by a Swiss Army knife? You know that red little pocket knife, right? You take out to camping. It's got all these tools in it, right? It's got the spoon, it's got the fork, it's got the corkscrew, it's got little kinds of knives, it's got these scrapers and things. Some of them are limited in terms of you've just got one knife and maybe one other tool. And now you use it for many things, not just the traditional cutting. You can use it to skim wood to make some some what do you call it? That light stuff for a fire, right? Chopping fruits, turning things, picking things out, right? So you find creative ways to hold it, use it, articulate it in space, change grips with it, all that stuff, man. So Chris is on the right path. Totally agree with you, brother. And I think if you're a like-minded martial artist who looks at martial art techniques, concepts, and ideas, you will see them as tools, just like a knife, a Swiss Army knife, where you use them in various ways. Changing angles and making adaptations according to Chris, right? So that's big takeaway one, right? I need a coffee. Cheers. How you guys doing? Tell me what you think so far. Any questions and stuff? I'm just looking at the comments over here. I read Weaponize Your Web. This is good stuff. I'll have to check out the other one for sure. Shout out to the artwork. Oh, Weaponize Your Web, the artwork for sure, man. I can't wait to talk about that artwork. It's really cool stuff. It's got I'm not gonna say it. I'll get to it when I get to it. But yeah, man. Um, somebody from my class, Strawberry. Hey, Strawberry. Whoever Strawberry is. Hey, Robert. Hey, Philip. Hey, Hot Cocoa the Fudge. Okay, interesting names. All right. Big takeaway number 2. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's see here. Range adaptability. Okay, so he goes on to talk about how different techniques at different ranges. Okay, so let's just take a quick peek at these techniques, guys. All right, different techniques, actually the same technique, my bad, the same technique at different ranges takes on different flavors, okay, and different applications based on the contact points that present itself when you're in that melee of chaos, right? I love this. This was the first time, actually, I should say, the first time that I came across this idea was through one of my teachers, Vic Arnold. I talk about him a lot. I talk about all my teachers, man. But Vic is holds a very. It's kind of like you could love somebody, but then you can love someone. But you can love someone and not be compatible with them. Like in a relationship. But you could love someone and be compatible with them. So it's that Venn diagram, right? Like two people, you come together and you've got that central piece, that commonality. Me and Vic, I love the man, but we're also very compatible. So he showed me these ideas that all these techniques can be compound techniques based on range. Let me explain. So big takeaway number 2, range dictates application. All right. So I'm going to repeat it again. Range dictates application. Right. So the technique that Chris uses to elucidate that point is if you guys know the Tekki or Naihanchi kata, I believe in our first one. Okay. We do the yoi and we open. Okay. And we do this technique right here. All right. So it's boom. Okay. So that technique over here, based on the range of the opponent, is going to take on different situations, right? Different applications. So the opponent's crashing in, right? You've got this motion here. You can use that as a bump, okay? Using the shoulder as a ram. You can use this part as a spear as well, okay? You can use this opening part if the opponent is a little bit of a longer range. You can use this opening part right over here to slam across the carotid, okay? If he's a little further away, right, you can use this opening hand here, whether it's spear hand like this. In Wing Chun, they call it buji, the spearing fingers, right? This way or this way, right? Right up like this, and to flick the eye, right? These techniques, man, they're a huge distraction and they're a major annoyance. I mean, I play with my daughter all the time, and she just loves to get rough. But sometimes, just when she's just playing around, like I remember when she was a kid, she was playing around my face, and it's just her finger just grazed the side of my eyeballs. Okay, she's a little tiny little baby. Okay, and I'm this guy, bigger guy. That little flick messed me up. I dropped her on the couch, and I'm like, oh, right? It's just that. So I'm telling you, these techniques, they're valid, right? But the point is, range dictates application. So he showcases here various many different applications of that same technique. And as you can see, it's right over here, right? Outer range, inside range, mid range, right? Yeah, they're all stand-up stuff, but still, yeah, the point is there. Okay. He even talks about using. Here's another thing too. So Chris, let me see. I want to make sure this is right. Yeah, it's an open hand like this, where he's hitting like this. Instead of doing that, like this part here is about to open up, right? So he's using the part here, right? So he's using this part. I'm just gonna go on and add a couple more things. Anything open hand can be closed fist, and anything closed fist can be open hand. So it's like a drill bit, right? You take out the drill bit and you put on another drill bit, right? So here's the drill. The drill is the delivery of your arms, and the bit is the ending. So you can be a open arm, a punch, a hammer, right? All these kind of things. So Chris, I love it. That's big takeaway number 2. And finally, for the final finale, before we end leaving this book, I found big takeaway number 3. Hey, Elizabeth, how you doing? Hey, Patrick. Hey, Alexander. Yeah, so big takeaway number 3. Here we go. I need a drink, guys. My mouth is getting dry. Cheers. Can you guys drop in? Tell me where you're from, which country, and what do you think so far? If you have any questions, put it in the stream, guys. Please, I really appreciate that. All right. Big takeaway number 3. Okay. this part here, I tend to get really excited, like I said, when I see stuff that resonates really strongly with me. Um, all right, guys, I gotta. Okay, this I'm gonna be a little long on this one because this big takeaway number three. So, are you ready? So, I hope you're sitting down because this is about to go down. All right. Oh, let's see. Philip, Belgium, yes. And Axelander in here is the artist. Yes. Um, Hi, I'm from Belgium and I've been practicing karate with Filip Swennen for some time now. Excellent, Patrick. Amazing. Have you done any other styles before? Um, or was Philip your first sensei? Um, but knowing Philip's background, and we're going to talk about Philip's background as well. He comes from a wide variety of arts, so I'm assuming you're going to be in good hands. You don't need to go anywhere else for now, anyway. But right, Robert Nelson, Los Angeles, woohoo! So we got Belgium, we got U.S., we've got Canada. I've got some of my students that are following me too. Salvatore, we see us during the seminar in Noise. Yes, Salvatore, for sure, for sure. I hope to see you there, brother. We'll stay in touch on WhatsApp before. So yeah, man. You see, this is what unity is all about, right? Reaching out and making connections. I'm telling you guys, since I started this channel, I have nothing but love, for you guys and from you guys. It's such a great thing, reaching out to like-minded people. But anyway, all right, let's do this. Okay. Big takeaway number 3. All right. So actually, well, hold on. So Patrick says, nope, he's my first sensei. I have a disability and practice karate from my wheelchair. And Philip really taught me the great stuff and adapted the katas to me. Really nice. Yes. I love that, man. I love to see adaptability in martial arts, for special needs and things like that. Guys, if you can't use it sitting, standing, lying down, under surprise attacks, I mean, you're not using it. You got to learn how to use it under all these situations. Sometimes just for fun, I would tie up one of my hands, or I would just restrict. We would have like these drills in our dojo, restricted sparring, where and I'm it's nothing new. I'm sure you guys message me below if you've done something like this, guys. Restricted sparring, where you just kind of limit your tools. So let's just say punches versus kicks, or just jab versus front kick, or trapping versus clinch only. So you could trap up hands. You can't counter nothing. You can just clinch and trap. You know what I mean? Things like that. And I think, as an instructor, developing limited tools like this, or tools with under limited conditions, I should say, is key. And it also exercises your levels of creativity and knowledge of principles and stuff. I mean, if you can't cater to these kind of things, then I think you owe it to yourself as an instructor to learn it, because not only will it help different kinds of students, but it'll help develop your creativity and just keep your applications very broad, and versatile, right? But all right, here we go. Mold. What mold? Okay. So he talks about, and this is the biggest connection that resonates strongly with me, is the shu ha ri concept. Okay. I can't wait to talk to you about that. All right. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about this stuff over here. Okay. And all right. So he says over here, I'm just going to read to you a little excerpt. In Japanese martial arts, there is a formula often used to express the progression of a student from beginner to master. Okay, shu ha ri. Okay, most karateka should be familiar with these 3 kanji, and those who are will know that they do not only apply to martial arts, but also to almost every other developmental aspect of human life. It is also a principle that may be applied to the analysis of Karate Kata. Love it. Now, I find often this principle is neglected, and a lot of keynote speakers in the martial art world, Ian Abernathy's talked a lot about this, and a whole bunch of others that right now I'm on a certain train of thought. I just can't remember them all, but they talked about this, and not to belittle the idea, but it just makes sense. right? And I'm going to explain to you what all that is, and connections to as an educator, because it's very formally when we were coming up the ranks as an educator. We had to go to university for all this and get formally trained and stuff, and we were taught this pedagogical process called what's it differentiated instruction, okay, and the gradual release of responsibility, right? And more on that later. I'll explain to you what that is. But let's talk about the shuha and ri concept, and then I'm going to show you how Chris Denwood shows that in his book, right? So shuha and ri, right? So let me just write this. Let me just move this here. So shuha and ri. Shu means to learn or copy. Ha means to break or create, right? And ri means to like liberate, be free, and the way I see it is integrate, right? Now some of these words are not the direct translations, but based on the basic core understanding of my understanding anyway, I threw in some of these words, to help me understand, and connect to this, right? So learn what you're learning from your teacher, copy them exactly the way your teacher is showing it to you if you're a beginner. Then eventually play with what you've got and be a little bit creative with it, right? And therefore break a bit of rules, right? So put your own little flavors in it, right? And then eventually completely break from it and totally customize it, add in other learnings from elsewhere, and integrate it back into your nervous system, into your mind, into whatever practice you're doing, where be it business, where it's carpentry or whatever, right? And that's all about using tools in creative ways, right? Instead of just rigorously preserving the techniques as what you think the masters did at that time and putting it in a pickle jar, and it's like a time capsule. And to me, that's not what these guys did. From the little that I know, I am not a historian, but the little that I know about the history of martial arts and all these kind of things, these guys continuously evolved, and they died, right? But if they kept going now, they would be where we're at now, and in fact even further, I think, right? So they kept shu, ha, and ri-ing, if that makes sense. They kept evolving. This is just a very good learning paradigm, right? So let's go on and look at this a little bit more carefully. So here's some examples, right? So example number one, okay? So say you take a particular art. So in my case, it's karate. And a lot of you guys listening, I'm sure, you've got some experience with karate too, I'm assuming, right? So you put this in the center. Now I put dots around it to showcase that. Let's make that a variable, okay? And a variable is anything that can change. So you can switch that out with any system or style, okay? So for now, let's put in karate in there, okay? Now you've got, you add in some flavors of boxing, swimming, yes, swimming, savat, hit training, add in some grappling, and even performance arts. You add in performance arts in there, performance arts, drama, dance, and all this kind of stuff, and choreography. Now, the reason why I put that in there because, karate is a big practice. If you take a look at, say, for example, Olympic expression of karate, they do these amazing bunkai demonstrations. And I am not taking away from that. It's beautiful. It's athletic. It's strong. It takes a lot of skill. It's like high level dance, right? And I don't mean that in a slight or a negative way at all. I love watching that stuff. It looks great. Okay, if that's your purpose, then you need to insert. You need to learn. You owe it to yourself to learn about performance arts, learn about choreography, and learn about doing things at the same time, and learning how to hold a position with expression and all these things. And you put all that stuff into your karate, right? If you want to get more dynamic live training, and athleticism into your karate, here's what I do. So I sprinkle it with tactical combatives. So I partner myself up with tactical combative guys, and I insert things into my karate there. Boxing is like, gasoline to my karate. It's allowed me to move and be more athletic and strike from different angles. And swimming is allowed me to. I don't do much of that, but when I did swim, it made me very loosened up a lot of my joints, and especially for my lower back, which translated what into better sparring, right? Um, Savat is it's fine wine for kickboxing, in my opinion. Okay, if you haven't learned Savat or haven't studied it or know anything about it, guys, type it in, go to YouTube, get some books, reach out to some Savat seminars, and you'll see that whatever you're doing, Savat is a good art to teach you good range control. And if you already have a kickboxing background already, Savat's going to teach you that rhythm of getting in, getting out, and just messing up your opponent in sparring in so many different ways. It's great, man. So I've done all that, and then the hit training, right? So what does this have to do with Shuha and Ri? Well, in the beginning, without all this stuff, I've learned karate by just uh, plain karate, nothing else. Just teacher does, I repeat, right? Then later on, I went into the break stage and create stage where I started playing around with what I know. And then finally, the re stage, I started adding in. So to me, all of this stuff here is the re stage where I'm cross training. I'm going out there, meeting different people, seeing what's similar. See, the only reason why this would work, adding in all of these things, you can't just bolt it on. You have to strategically do it. I can't just say, okay, I'm going to do boxing and it's going to work for my karate. That doesn't work, right? What works is you have to see what's common. So, for example, in karate, so let's just say I'm going to do this insertion here where I'm adding boxing into my karate. Well, first of all, you got to know your why. So, what's it? Martin Kudzia, shout out to Martin Kudzia. Him and I talk every day. He's become my virtual and spiritual brother. And I can't wait to see you, man, in July. We talk about know your why all the time, right? And so you can't make these insertions unless you know your purpose, right? So, for example, I wanted to insert boxing into karate and integrate it simply because I had problems with a boxer in sparring. I got beaten up. My stance work was crap. Okay, my legs gave out. My cardio was garbage. My timing was all off. Right, I was good at what I did at my club, but I didn't. I couldn't leave that place. I was stuck there, and I was dedicated, and I just didn't want to leave. Right, and we were also kind of told not to leave. It was one of those things growing up, you have to show a lot of loyalty to your teacher, and I respect all that. So coming up from that kind of background, right? I didn't know anything better, right? So when I started cross training with other people, my things fell apart, my timing fell apart, my footwork fell apart, my cardio fell apart, my just the hitting at different angles and using your head and hitting off of a limb and all that. It was all very new to me. So we have those techniques in karate, but they're done in a very formalistic, stylistic way. So I said, hey, all these techniques are found also in boxing. So I said, but these guys do it in a much more fluid way. Let me insert it. So you see, in order to make the insertions, sorry, I was a little long-winded there, but in order to make these insertions, in order to make that connection, it's like a puzzle piece, right? You can't fit two pieces of a puzzle together if the shape's not cut out right. They got to click. So you got to find what these other arts do better and what other arts and activities can enhance your base art. And if you follow this activity, this structure, you're golden. And this is good learning. Okay. Example number 2. But before I do that, I need a break. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee here. Cheers. I would really love to know what you think of this so far. Not like if you can comment, what type of connections are you making with this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And I don't really. I would appreciate you be honest if you disagree, but I'd love to know your reasons. This is not about who's right and who's wrong here, guys. I'm just sharing my experience and love with you, and I expect the same back. the same respect back. So if you could like type in, what you agree with, what you don't agree with, what you don't understand, maybe, and some connections that you can make, and that'll give me a chance to drink some water. Whew. Hope you guys are doing good. I don't know what time is it right now. Can you guys quickly type in too if you can hear me okay and see me okay? I just want to make sure connectivity is good. Guys okay? All right. All right. So here we go. Oh, here we go. So Roberts, Bobby. So I'm a huge reader of martial arts books, but it's hard to find good recommendations. I really appreciate the format of the book review. You should make it a regular thing. Book club. Yeah. I trust me, I have been thinking about all this. And I take a look at also, YouTubers that do this kind of stuff for, non-martial art related books. And I got inspiration from that, like bringing out the whiteboard and talking about stuff and making connections. And I think it's important, man, because when you do that kind of stuff, it sparks things in people, right? So yeah, thanks, bro. I noted. I will definitely consider it. Loud and clear. All right. Okay, so let me see. Let me check in with some of my. I told my daughter to watch it, and she said, "Sorry, Daddy, I have to go see a movie now." Oh yeah, of course, Martin, brother. Who else is on here? I sent a message to all my German brothers, but hey, everyone's busy. It's all good. But Martin, thanks for watching. All right, so example number 2. And then we're going to get into the last piece of the book and then get into book number 2. Also, please stay tuned. I got a special surprise for you guys at the end. I didn't plan on talking about these books, but I got 3 other books really quickly. I'm going to talk to you about it, not to the extent like this. So I hope you don't get disappointed about that, but it's actually a good thing, because if you don't know about these, if you don't know about these things, you got to know. So check it out. So example number 2. Okay. I love this example because I think a lot of people can relate to this example. Okay. Type in if you know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. Type in. Okay. Tell me something you know about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Type in a fact that you know about him. Okay. Without looking at my board. Okay. Don't cheat. Don't look at my board. If you looked at my board, don't type in that fact. Type in something else. What do you know about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Come on, guys. Slow connection here, maybe. What do you know about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Tell me what do you know about him? Just one quick fact. Yeah, he won Mr. Universe. Sucks in Burley. Sorry, I'm not sure what that means. If you can clarify. But yeah, so check it out, okay? So we're gonna apply suck in the belly. Suck in belly. Are you saying I'm fat? Anyway, okay, so Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's use now the same Shuhari concept to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, so here, bodybuilding. So you got the practice of bodybuilding. Again, it's a variable. Okay, so I put over here that this dotted area is a variable. You can swap in and put in any type of art or activity in there. So let's put in bodybuilding, okay? Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger, in the sport of bodybuilding, he inserted, okay, weight training, all kinds of weight training. He inserted calisthenics, body calisthenics. He inserted bike riding, and these are just to name a few, okay? And I put it in big letters, ballet. Yes, ballet. I'm going to repeat that again. Arnold Schwarzenegger cross-trained in ballet. Okay? He put in ballet into his bodybuilding routines. Why? Why do you think that's the case? Right? Type it in. What do you think? Why do you think he inserted ballet into his bodybuilding routines? I give you a hint. It has to do with his poses. Oh, I see what you mean. The training method, yes, sucking in the belly. Yes, 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 that's true. Um, yeah, so he trained in ballet, okay, for the purpose of opening up his body, okay, so that he can elongate his muscles and show the muscles to all the judges in the panel, and they can see various vantage points and perspectives of his arms and his chest. And he would do these kind of poses and turn. And he learned he did those poses before. I think in his first two, they weren't that successful in terms of posing and stuff. But once he started learning ballet, he started to become more graceful, more fluid. He learned to relax and hold his poses better and all this stuff. So you see, guys, if you are not cross training in other arts and combat sports, um, you are cutting yourself off from growth. Okay. Now, I am not saying you have to. Okay, so hear me out. A lot of people, I get a lot of hate, from because they don't understand what I'm trying to say. If you want to stay in your karate world, in your karate training, and you don't even have to leave your dojo because you're completely happy with just doing kata all day, doing line drills and kat and kihon wazas. And guys, I'm gonna give you disclaimer. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a very good way. I have friends that don't train the way I do. I have friends that train in a school where they practice kata and kihon and they just repeat it robotically over and over again. And guess what? They're happy. I have friends that don't need to go to a gym. They don't need to, do anything else. They do hojondo, the Okinawan style of training. And you know what? They're in amazing shape. They look good. They're fit. And they do all their exercises. Their cardio is good, but they don't need to cross train. So they're happy, and they have big organizations, and they're happy, and that's what's important. Be happy, right? You don't have to go on this rampant growing spree, right? But hey, it's just like investing. Okay, you can invest in conservative investment vehicles, or you can put your money in like these rapid growth things, and they're volatile, and they're always, but they're growing too at a rapid rate, right? I kind of like to do a little bit of both, right? So I love. Don't get me wrong. I can do kata all day. I can do kihon all day, and I love it. But there's something about the martial arts. The fact that it's martial, right? You got to stress test, and to do that, you need to push your limits to see where you're at through cross training. And so that's why I suggested in this method to do all of these things. Now, to seal it up, Chris Denwood talks about the shuhari very, very, very well. Okay, and here's an example of this. Okay, so he talks about breaking the mold, and one of his senseis, I think he's passed away now, but gave him this kanji, and it was very meaningful to him. In fact, so meaningful that we collaborated on our seminar together, and we used these three pieces of kanji. It was a very meaningful thing, a meaningful touch on our seminar. We used these three pieces of kanji, as the underlying theme of the seminar. It was a shu-ha-ri seminar, right? And if you want, the seminar's done, but if you want to train in that seminar again, or see that material, Chris, I believe, has it on his virtual dojo. So check it out, chrisdenwood.com, and you can purchase that segment. We both did segments on that seminar, and you can purchase it for a very small fee. I can't remember how much it is, but check it out. And we talk exactly about this last piece in this chapter here, the shuhari. So Chris basically elucidates this really well in his book, and it's a theoretical piece. So there's a lot of reading in here, and he talks about how you can break it apart under various scenarios. So that's it. That wraps up this book, guys. And now we're gonna go on to the next one. But we'll just take a quick little break here. What do you guys think so far? Can you type in the chat? What are some of the thoughts that pop up in your mind as I was talking? I mean, guys, please don't be shy. I really appreciate it if you can type something in to show me, some of your thoughts, because that's what makes these talks meaningful. Instead of just me blabbing, because me blabbing tends to be boring, right, guys? Some of my students are watching, right? Right. Yes. Okay. So let's see. Isn't it cold by now? No, it's actually kind of warm. It's gotten to the warm stage now. Yeah. Thoughts? I need to cross train more. Yeah, cross training is important, man. But let me make a connection. Cross training and the shuhari thing. I think if you guys remember, I was talking about educational pedagogy, right? So we have this thing called the gradual release of responsibility. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again. Gradual. So the gradual release of responsibility, right? And that's from the teacher's point of view. So initially, when we get a student, and this is a teaching technique, okay, we get the student, we teach them whatever, reading, writing, math, whatever, okay, and they learn, some core concepts, right, core principles. But then we guide them through everything. So we model them. They have to copy it. We model it. They copy. We model. They copy. Right. Then we put them in a small group. We give them the task again, and they have to not totally independently, but collaboratively work on it in a team with others. And I'll come in and I'll kind of hover around and provide some guidance and fix and edit and change and this and that. Right. So that's, again, I'm starting to pull away a little bit. And then finally, there's the independent piece where they're doing it on their own. Right. And I pull out, and I'm hovering, I'm looking, but I'm not coming in yet. Right. So I just kind of hover and they independently pull off the skill. Now, as they're learning all this, I'm giving them opportunities to creatively express themselves as well. So they can take ideas from other places and put their own spin on it and things like that. To me, this is solid education. It's educational pedagogy. This is the foundations of teaching 101, right? And Japanese or Okinawans, they came up with the shuhari concept. To me, it's exactly the same. But are jabs as important to train as cross? I love you, bro. When the hell are we gonna get together, man? You know what I'm saying? Chris Denwood has some incredible work for anyone who hasn't checked out his stuff. Yeah, exactly. I hope you, Watto, Justin, I hope you have his book instead of just saying it. You have his book? Because if you don't, you better get it. It's good. Okay, anyway. Okay, now for the final finale, okay, we have Craig DeVoe. Sounds like a couple of great books to add to my life. Oh, for sure, brother. For sure. Now, this one, another favorite of mine. And I got a big smile on my face on this one because moi, yes, little old me is on one of these pages. And some of the techniques are in here. So I want to give a shout out to Filip. Thank you so much for gifting me this book. As promised, I think I did a book talk about this book earlier, but I'm gonna, this is an official one, right? I think I did one on Facebook, right, Filip? I think it was on Facebook or Instagram. I think I put it up there. But we're gonna do a deep dive into this one. So, Filip, let me just give you a little bit of history. Filip and I've never met Filip in person. We met virtually on. I've met SF Dojo and his guys through our seminar. Some of his guys came to our seminar virtually. I think when was that seminar, man? Was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember. Time flies. Well, we met in an online seminar. I ran a seminar with Chris Denwood, and we had like an international following. Like I said, about 7 to 8 countries, and it was amazing. And I, this is how you meet people. And I got to know Philip, through his socials and stuff, and we, collaborated, and we often talk about stuff. And Philip asked me if, I really like some of the things you do with the Naihanchi elbows and frame structures and things. I love how you change the planes of motion and use it in varieties of ways. He goes, "Do you mind?" He goes, "I'm doing a book collab. Do you mind if, we collaborate on that? And can I put a mention of some of these things?" And I go, "Bro, you kidding me? Of course." Right. So I get excited on these things, man. You see, the idea is here's the thing. Okay. The reason why I get excited about these things, it's really simple. When I die, okay, and when people show up for my funeral, if there's any, okay, I would hope that I have uh, paid forward and passed on um, like truth, okay, and my memories, of like how could I say, the relationships was good. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, right? So what this little thing we're doing over here, to me, is not so little. It's big. It's part of the big web. It's part of the big web of life, right? So anyway, philosophy over. Let's talk about this book. All right, let's do a walkthrough. So, love the cover, guys. Check this cover out. It's got like a what's it, DC comic book kind of look. So shout out to Axelander. Great job, bro. The drawings are off the hook. Wait till we look inside. Okay, so we've got this beautiful fonts, nice look. It's a soft cover. You can get this. You can get this on Amazon, and I believe through sfdojo.com. Actually, is it be.be? Anyway, I have it in the link. Okay, so in the description. Sorry, I put the link in the description, so all of that's there. I just can't remember. So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about Filip. So Filip is a mixed martial artist in a sense that he's studied various styles, combat sports, and tactical combatives. Sounds familiar, right? I love it when I touch hands with people who just do more than one thing. I mean, it's not a slight against people who don't. Like I said, man, whatever floats your boat. But hey, this is human nature, right? You tend to gravitate towards like-minded people, right? That's a very simple formula, right? So Filip is very much like myself. He's cross-trained in all kinds of things, MMA, combatives, judo, full contact karate. He's done seminars all over the place. He's lived in different countries, I believe in Japan. And Filip, if I know you're listening to this, so if there's anything that I missed or anything you want to add, type into the chat so I can mention it. As we're talking, because this is all about you now, bro. Okay, so please, if I left anything out, or if you want to add something, and that goes for everybody, just type something in, except for you, Justin. Go sit in your corner and drink your coffee. Love you, bro. We need to train. Message me, man. Let me know when we're gonna do this. We got to do something before the summer, man. Right? Justin, if you don't know who Justin is, Justin from Wado Combat Canada. We've done some. I've mentioned him many times on my channel. He's got some great stuff, man. He takes Wado to another level, right? So check him out. He trains out of Global Martial Arts Academy, I think. So scroll through my social media, check him out too, Wado Combat Canada, and you'll see links to him. But anyway, just wanted to give him a shout out. Okay, here we go, Filip. So Belgium. He's based in Belgium. Okay, his book is called Weaponize Your Web. It's a soft cover. Okay, for Chris, be kind, be strong, Filip. Okay, stretch, recoil, and contract. So right off the bat, when you open up this book, you see an underlying concept and theme that permeates throughout this whole book. Okay. And that immediately gave me a biomechanical flavor, right? And when I see people who look outside of technique and just see things like the big picture, okay? Um, to me, that's a sign of advancement. That's a sign of someone who understands what's going on. You know what I mean? And so here we go. So this whole book, okay, is about biomechanical principles in the martial arts, how combat sports, tactical combatives, traditional martial arts are all glued together by biomechanical principles. Okay, very well illustrated. He's given. It was the intro was done by Nobutatsu Suzuki. Okay, and Joe Swift. The forward was done by Axelander. Acknowledgments by a whole bunch of people. And let's do a quick preview of the book. So let's get to the table of contents, and I'll explain to you that one. Show you that. So we've got it's 192 pages. Okay, all kinds of stuff in there. Forward by Patrick McCarthy, Josh Roberts, and yeah. So we talk about knockout power, whipping the body, power sources, okay, and then a whole bunch of applications, okay, of one of my favorite katas, Naihanchi, right? And so when you take a look at this book, it's really, really well written, and it shares a lot of commonalities with the Naihanchi Tekki kata, because both of these guys are, first of all, Chris and Filip, okay, they're big karate geeks, okay, and they're really into biomechanical principles, very much like myself. I'm another geek, okay, and I'm learning more about these kind of things, as I progress, and that's really what it's all about, principles. Because once you understand principles, you can train forever, right? It's not about the technique, collecting techniques. It's about understanding the core principles. So, this is an ongoing theme, right? So let's get in there. Let's take. You guys got to see these pictures, man. Okay, so check it out. Okay, so Naihanchi. Okay, so let's take a survey. So you've got pictures like this. Okay, beautiful sketches. I love the lines. It's got like a anime style to it, right? And it basically gives you the entire kata in sketch format. Very clear, very neat to follow, what you didn't know is I modeled for this book. As you can see how buff I am in here. No, I'm just kidding. That wasn't me. I wish. But yeah, so great pictures. And okay, here we go. So now we get into the meat. So I'm about to share with you 3 big, giant takeaways, okay, from this book, okay? Giant takeaway number 1. In fact, I might share more than one because, yeah, I see I have more than one sticky in here, more than 3 stickies. Okay, so here we go. Giant takeaway number 1, okay? So kata teaches you body movements, combative principles, and specific techniques. Okay, right over there. And it's really important, I think, for people on the outside who wrongfully judge any style or art or whatever, to take a deep dive, man. In these books, if you give it a chance, you really understand that, hey, us karate guys are no different than what you guys are doing. We're all the same. We just got different flavors for different purposes, right? So this book does good justice to kata. So here we go. I love this idea about the kata teaches you body movements. And one particular thing I got to point out that's really cool about the book, and I was so surprised when I found out, is the actual kata movement is right here in the top right corner, on the top corner. And then you've got all the applications here. So it's so cool. Like it's minimal writing, but a lot of visuals. This is what I love. Like if you're a kind of a reader like me, um, I'm kind of dumb. Okay. So I need things simple. Like I need it spelled out for me. You know what I'm saying? Big print, big pictures, lots of icons. Hey, that's me. If you're like that, this book is going to be great. So this right over here, teach it. There's the actual move here, and then all the applications are here. It's amazing. I love that, right? Because I was looking like which application is this for, and then bam, I see this, right? So anyway, so that's one cool feature of this book that I love. So here's the idea. This opening move here, okay? This frame, right? Where in the Naihanchi kata, there's this frame. He uses this as a dive, a big dive, and he talks about all of the muscles that are activated. When you're using this. So he talks about how all these, like for example, it says the spiral line and the front functional line for movements forward, right? And how the back functional line for movements backward. Now, he talks about how these recruiting muscles and tendons and stuff, these things are fired when you're doing these movements. Well, any movement that goes forward on that plane are going to be using these things, which really kind of tells me that, that's why you should be cross training. Because if you cross train in other arts and combat sports that recruit those same kind of muscles, but they do it maybe more often than not, maybe you should seek that, because that will kind of fire up your movements for these applications. You know what I'm saying? So I love this. I love this. Okay, so here we go. Big takeaway number one. Part of the big takeaway number one. The big deep dive. Okay, so again, it's the opening move right over here. This move right over here. Okay, you guys see that? This one. So that move here, okay, is the dive. So the move is done standing. The move is done standing without any intent. It's just a move. It's like drawing the letter, right? So it's done like that. But to use it, as Chris Denwood would say, you need to make adaptations. You got to change it, change the planes of motion, add certain things to it, shorten up the lines and all these things. And I talk about this in all my seminars as well, right? And so he demonstrates this very, very clearly. So here's one application where it's a kind of like a stuff. He's stuffing a takedown where he's kind of shooting his legs outward right over here, and he's stuffing a takedown, right? So it's kind of like a takedown defense, and he calls it the dive, right? And what's cool is Filip talked about how he used this in his defensive tactics teachings and all this stuff. He says this flinch reflex is part of our natural reflexes. You can train to fine-tune this flinch reaction. Your arms and shoulders can make a dive-like movement, protecting your neck, jaw, and face as much as possible. I've used this even against falling surfboards and collapsing wooden structures, right? So yeah, like when some things fall, you kind of put your hands up and you're protecting. It's a natural response, right? When I play dodgeball with the kids in class, balls are flying. I throw the ball at them or whatever, and that's that same motion that they use, right? So the kata uses this motion. So, but it's natural because it's a natural instinctual thing, right? So the dive, he calls it, right? So that's one big takeaway. Okay. Takeaway number 2. Okay. He calls it the bones barricade. So this is a barricade, the bones barricade. So this is a chapter that talks about the bones barricade. And I believe what he means there is and the move, by the way, one of my favorite moves, and we're going to be talking, so stay tuned. Again, get another drink, get a snack, sit down, go to the washroom, okay, and be back, because we're about to do a deep dive in this second big giant takeaway from Filip's book. Okay, bones barricade. So this movement right over here. This movement here in right over. You guys see that right over here? So this movement here, it's a transitional movement. So I'll kind of show it to you. I'm all wired up here, but it's so you start off like this, right? You step across, okay? Step across, you do a foot check, you put it down, and you cross your hands here, and then you release this hand, pull it out, right? So it's that transitional motion here, okay? Now in the kata, it shows you like this, okay? But I love how he breaks it down, and some of the inspiration for this chapter was from talking to me. There was one particular, a couple of things that we covered in our seminar, and I utilized this. And if you take a look, guys, at my YouTube channel, and you look at all the Naihanchi series of shorts and videos that I have, I talk about this and break this down as well. And he Filip breaks it down beautifully with great sketches, a good simplistic biomechanical breakdown, and I love how he talks about it in terms of a bones barricade. So it's basically this particular motion here is you're stacking your bones together and creating a barrier for attacks, coming at you, going in, and you can tilt the axis and change the application. So let me explain, okay? So if you take a look at this drawing right over here, okay? Notice that, see, if you tilt the axis, the hands are pretty much in the same position. But if you actually tilt your body and use it, angle upwards, okay, this elbow kind of block, okay, you're getting in on the inside of somebody's punch or something. This type of crash, okay, where say a punch is coming, right? Or now it's useful. It's a block, okay? Now he talks about how he says over here, if you lift the elbow of your front arm even higher and lean backwards, you can let the opponent attacks crash into your elbow and forearm, okay? By moving the elbow from left to right, you can also stop hook punches, okay? And there's a footnote attached to it, and it's basically MMA fighter Rory McDonald uses this amongst many others. For sure, okay? And I want to make a connection to this too, okay? I was thinking about this. When I started discovering the wonderful science and arts of boxing, okay, I started to see, that boxers use everything they got in their arsenal, okay? And if you even go way back, guys, like a lot of people don't know this, Ian Abernethy kind of, he's quite well read, and he told me about this. I think boxing in the 1600s and even way back into the 28th Pancratian, like way back, okay? They used to have pancration, and boxing took the form of you can kick in boxing, you can strangle in boxing, you can stomp in boxing, you can do all kinds of nasty things, right? Like they use everything to their advantage. But later on, the rule sets got cleaned and things, but still, I would argue that boxing, is a very versatile system, and it can be used at long range, mid range, and even clinch range. Boxing can be used, okay? If you take a look at high-level fighters, there's guys that can fight on the inside really, really well, okay? Floyd Mayweather is one example. Now, one boxer that comes to mind that uses this block a lot, okay? Floyd Mayweather is one of them. A second boxer trainer that trains this technique of rolling with the elbow and tilting up and smashing punches, and even also lifting punches to get in, right? They use that technique for, it's kind of like a can opener where you're lifting up a guard or coming underneath a punch and going, right? Is Tom Yankello, okay? That's Tom Yankello. And if you don't know who that guy is, I think he's based in Philadelphia, I think. But he's Roy Jones Jr. coach, along with Spadafora. I don't know if you're into boxing, you guys know Spadafora, the boxer. He coached both of those guys, and he uses that elbow smash, that elbow lift. He uses elbows a lot to come in, to crash in. This exact structure, right? Um, it's used in combat sport. It's used in self-defense. Now, shout out to Martin Kudzia from Karate Noise. Um, he gave me. I knew about some of these things before, but you see, I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't go in the deep end with this stuff. I just scratch the surface. I turn. See, Karate Unity is about the it's the collective. It's the training collective, right? And Martin Kudzia is part of this collective. He's my tactical combat guy that I take a lot of advice from, along with my local guys over here. But he introduced me to this idea of the 360. Okay, and it's nothing new. The 360. Let me explain. Attacks are going to happen by surprise, and they're going to happen on a 360-degree plane, okay? Around you, and basically a sphere. They're going to come at you at a sphere. So often when we shadow box, often when we do bunkai, often when we're doing stand-up drills and Kihons and stuff, what pattern do you think we follow, right? We usually follow up and down, angles, lines, but we don't really, and our techniques are just kind of like on a line, really, right? Even if it's on an angle, it's on a line. We spaced here, it's on a line, right? But we don't really stay in one spot and we're blocking and attacking. Say we're facing here, we're dealing with this. We don't practice that often. And I think we should, if we're going to be developing our 360-degree kind of peripherals for self-defense. The reason why I'm talking about this, guys, is because this particular movement here, okay, I've adapted and learned through Martin, okay, on how to use that. And Martin, if you take a look at some of the clips, go to Karate Noise, and if you go to my socials too, I have we're brothers. We're always sharing each other's stuff. So his stuff's on mine, my stuff's on his, and that's what brothers do, right? So you'll see, there is one scene, for example, if you take a look at either of our socials, Karate Noise or Karate Unity, there's a scene where I filmed it outside of our hotel in Germany. We were just messing around, and it was a promo for Sanbon Kumite, right? And how, it's a self-defense training method, and where you have to be 360 degrees train that. So sometimes I would come in Martin at a different angle, or let's just say there's multiple attackers, right? But if I come at Martin from a different angle, he would basically kind of, face one way, but then kind of deal with it, like this. Okay. So say his hands are down after throwing that shot. So say someone's in the front, you throw that shot, your hands down, and then something comes this way. Well, you can't really block. It's too, right? Your hands are down already. So use closest weapon, closest target. You got the elbow. This is where the Naihanchi structure comes in, this bones barricade that Filip's talking about, right? And he illustrated that really well in this drawing right here, right? So bam, right? Now I've taken that and I've used that. If you take a look at some of my Naihanchi videos on YouTube, especially the shorts, I go through a whole series of them where I'm talking about this and then hitting this and trapping this and going down this and just kind of following up, right? So that's that movement from Naihanchi, right? So that's a big takeaway number one, I think, or number two. Bones barricade. Okay, and finally, yes, the part that I was mentioned in here, this application over here, the double forearm wall, right? So this one right over here, this one here. Okay, so again, this is the application of this technique, and I love how this book is written. Right, it on the top corner you see the actual form of the technique, which is up, and then over here you see all the applications, right? So this bones barricade, it's basically a cram. Okay, a cram. Now you're cramming the guy, right? And you can call it whatever you want, but it's been done before. But what's cool is, and this is not to belittle anything. Like that's what a lot of people do online, guys. Like they'll see stuff like this and go, yeah, we have it too, or yeah, whatever. It's like, oh yeah, you're saying this because you're a karate guy. Like I'm tired of the madness, right? That's why I started. That's why I started Karate Unity, because guys, let's just stop, like, stop with the pissing contest, and let's just have a big group hug here, man. We're all the same, dude. You know what I'm saying? We're all bound by the same biomechanical principle. So here's the principle, okay? The principles in the kata is, you're stepping, and your hands are transitioning, and you're stepping out. Well, use this motion in various ways. So you can use it like that, okay? You can use it to cram, right? I learned this. I learned this in Muay Thai, where you're wearing gloves and you just put up your hands like here to block shots, and then you come in. You come in to wipe and hit, right? You come in to wipe and clinch, right? I learned that in Muay Thai. I've seen it in boxing, and like I said to you, I'll be going to Connecticut sometime in the spring, okay? And we're going to be checking out Tri-Tac Martial Arts, and that guy, shout out to Matt Briers, he does a frame structure where he comes in like this, and then whatever hands are up, he'll use that to wipe, smash, hit. Oh, come on. Whoa. You guys there? Yeah, I had a call coming through. That's crazy. I'm gonna put on do not disturb. Yeah, here we go. Oops, sorry guys. Can you message me to see if this is still on? I think it's still on. Are you guys still on there? I think we're still on. Can you just drop a message to see if yeah, perfect. Okay, good. Yeah. So sorry, I'm a bit of a noob with this live stream stuff. I haven't done a lot of live streams lately, but just want to make sure this is good. So okay, oh thanks, Craig. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, the double hand cram, right? This double hand cram. So again, using the same principle here. I mean, see, this is where people need to get a deep understanding, right? If you look at the principle is this: you're using a barricade, a structure where your muscles are recruited and they're tight and they're short, right? So using recruitment here and here and here, these muscles, right? And then Filip talks about, all the recruitment. He talks about it in detail in this book. So if you this is the idea. The idea is recruit those muscles, put your hands in a barricaded structure, but then feel free, just like as Chris talked about, and this is where the beauty of martial arts is, guys. This is where the art is. Here it is. It's really simple. Use all of these things like a Swiss Army knife, like a tool, right? You use it in various ways. You take it out, you cut things, you change the angles of the way you use it. Like, look, when you're using a knife, you're not just gonna cut it in one way, right? You're using it in all kinds of ways, right? For cooking, for defense, for whatever, for a tool to scrape stuff. So you use these techniques just like that. And that's where Chris and Filip have in common. They both showcase creative ways of using these techniques in Naihanchi in creative ways. And it's just that Chris gets into a very stringent, well-detailed explanation from a engineering perspective, and Filip talks more of a kinesiology, biomechanical flavor to it, right? And so yeah, that's this, okay? Like a cram, right? And I learned that when I cross-trained in combat sports. So that's the book. Those are the two books. So I highly recommend you buy these two books. Okay. I really hope you enjoyed watching this. I'm not done yet, so don't go yet. I invited I don't know if he's watching, but I invited Sensei Jurgen Holler to watch this. And okay, so there, kind of a spoiler trailer. So before I go, I want to just do a quick little a quick little survey. This is a bonus, okay, for this talk. I want to introduce you a book that I was gifted. So I went to Germany in March last year, and I did a seminar there, and I taught, I think, close to 135 to 140 people across different dojos in different cities. It was such a great experience. Like, I look at my face, right? I can't let go of it. It was amazing, right? And I don't get out much, and when I do, it's great. And yeah, I can never I just can't stop smiling about it. So I met a ton of martial artists. uh they invited me down. They liked my stuff, and I showcased all this, some of the things we were talking about today and on my channel. And I was really honored to get a book from a man by the name of uh Jurgen Holler and Malushka. These two guys wrote this book. Now, this is another amazing book. I'm not going to get into it in detail, but I just want to say that I was gifted this book. He All the people that attended the seminar, they signed for me, and I got this book too. Yeah, Filip, it's great, right? I think we talked about this one. Full contact karate training. Now, you see, again, you can't judge a book by its cover, right? I showed this to some of my friends, and I see the reactions online when they see these things, and they think of sport, right? But when you read this book, it goes beyond sport. It talks about biomechanical principles that's applied in any context, right? So I'm just going to talk about one thing, just one thing. Okay, I promise. Okay, this one thing, and it's very signature of a style of Philip. I think you'd be better to talk about that. Like, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm wrong about a lot of things apparently, and I love to be wrong because, hey, that's how you get right. Right. You got to be wrong. What did they say? The failure is the mother of success, right? But anyway, there's Ashihara Karate, I believe, is an offshoot of Kyokushin. Is that right, Philip? I think it's a branch of Kyokushin, and I think they all are related to the Kyokushin masters. But anyway, Ashihara Karate uses one particular yes, oh, thanks. Yeah, one particular technique called the Mawashi Uke, which is the circular receiving hand. Okay, and you see this Mawashi Uke in a kata called Rohai. And I've if you take a look at my channel, I've got some clips on that too, Rohai. And stay tuned. I collaborated with Master Salona just recently. We did a Zoom call for about almost 2 hours. We have about 2 hours of footage on, guess what, Rohai kata, and we're going to be slowly putting that out there on our channels, both of our channels, showcasing the beauty of Rohai. But the one technique that stood out for me, that's a predominant technique or concept, I should say, in this book is this Mawashi Uke, right? This grabbing, trapping, striking, jamming, eye poking, punching technique. It's beautiful because it uses the circular motion and the circular downward kind of trap. And one way it is utilized is right here. So if you take a look, very many examples where you're using it to grab cloth, using it to manipulate, turn the person, break the balance. And then Sensei Holler, he has a throwing background, a judo background, so he does throw insertions in there. And then he's trained in Muay Thai and full contact training, and he used elbows and headbutts. And so that one particular piece, again, the theme is predominant. You use all of these things like a Swiss Army knife, right? You use it like tools. So, I mean, yes, this is the form, but you got to break out of the form. You got to create things, liberate, right? The Shuha and Ri, that's the healthy parts of it all, right? It's all related, guys. It's like one big soup, right? So this book I loved. I fell in love with it, and again, it's got really good illustrations, and it talks about all of the things that Chris and and Filip talk about. And then Taekwondo self defense. I strongly recommend you get this one too. And again, uh, pretty much uh, all kinds of practical stuff. But guys, again, when you look at this, it's got nothing to do with Taekwondo. I mean, there is some from the mainstream Taekwondo that we think of. When you look at stuff like, okay, look, does this look like Taekwondo to you? Does that look like Taekwondo to you? It doesn't, right? It's good stuff, right? Um, Look, does this look like Taekwondo to you? Nope, right? So it's great. So that's one book, and the last one. Oh, I love it. I've read just a bit of it, so I'm still chewing on it. It's near my night table, and I read it whenever I have time. It's the secrets of Kyosho. Again, all written by the same guy, Jurgen Holler. Okay, I was gifted this one. Okay, I was gifted this one, and then I decided to buy these ones. Right, so I got them, I think, from Amazon. But anyway, guys, I am done. I Before I go, I want to first of all say thank you for listening and um, you know bearing with me. I enjoy, as you can see, enjoy these kind of talks. It's very natural for me because, as you know, I'm a school teacher and I love to chat. And when you're passionate about something, it's not work. It's very natural, right? So anyway, thanks for watching. Before I go, can you guys write down some closing thoughts? What do you think? What did you think about this book talk? Do you want to see more of these? Is Can you please? I'd really appreciate it if you can write down any connections you've made to what we talked about. I'd really appreciate that. And then we can close off. And just so please type in some things that you thought your overall thoughts of this talk. Do you want to see it again? And just some quick random thoughts that come to your mind after listening to this. So I'm just gonna use that time and wait and drink some coffee. Cheers. Get this book. I don't know if there's a volume 3, but I definitely have volume 2. I didn't get volume 1, but volume 2 is I think it covers Nidan and Sandan, and this one here, right? Any case, let's see here. Great reviews. I'd love to see more. Your energy, as always, is infectious. Yeah, I get that a lot. Anyway, guys, Chris Hansen signing out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Got some closing thoughts. Get out there, travel, train, teach. Share your love of whatever you're doing with anyone. You know, understand that everyone's going through some sort of struggles. If you immediately get a reaction from somebody that you don't understand, just have a bit of some empathy. Calm down and try to understand where they're coming from. Everyone's doing in the martial art world it's a very, how could I say, it's a very volatile, fragile, egoed, um, system, network, right? And I've been in the game for a long time to see, organizations break up, organizations get together, people go independent, people creating their own styles and blah blah blah. And I the way I see it is this, right? Um, you can't go wrong with unity. If you look really closely, if you put in a lot of time in any art, whether it's Kali or boxing, Tai Chi, whatever, okay, it doesn't matter what you do, man. You're gonna see that we're all bound by flesh, blood, bones, connective tissue, all this stuff. We have nervous system, we've got brain, blah blah, and we're all working in only a finite number of permutations and combinations, right? The problem comes into play with these martial arts styles is when you get so caught up and get confined by the walls of your dojo, of your style, and of your curriculum, right? The way I see it is this: you stay in your curriculum, you enjoy what you do, you train, okay, but along the path, you got to support others, man. You stay in your lane, but welcome other people to come in your lane, and then that way you can go in their lane, and you can help them out, and then go back to your lane. But don't crap on people's lanes. And that's what that's a message that I really want to give to the world. And I think, not think, I know I have consistently put that message out there, and that's what karate unity is all about, right? If you take a look, it says unity through cross training, the tradition, the karate tradition of evolution. Guys, I really believe that stuff, and I'm living it, and I'm doing it. And so anyway, whatever you're doing, get out there, treat each other with kindness and respect. And Chris Hansen signing out. Peace, one love. Don't forget to buy those books. So the book of choice today are these ones. Okay. Take a look at the descriptions. Click on the links. You'll find them. I get nothing out of this, guys. I'm just sharing the love. Okay. Well, I got a free book, but I'm more than happy. And then check out these guys. Okay. And this one here. Okay. And guys, reach out to those instructors. Okay. Reach out to Filip, reach out to Chris Denwood, reach out to me, reach out to Jurgen Holler. All these guys are on my socials. Okay. And one love, guys. Have a great evening, great morning, rest of the afternoon and day. See ya. All right. I hope I don't delete this. Okay. End stream, I guess. All right. And you will no longer be live. Okay, I hope. All right, this works.